got rid of all that dumb fuckery. Hey guys, this is Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast, and guess what? This is our show tonight, and it's the Make Annie Great Again show with Annie back on. That's her up there, and we got a full house here. So let's go ahead and unmute Jack Frost. So that way you can be part of it. So guys, how's everybody doing? And everybody, welcome to the show.
Hey, hey. Birthday, Mark.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Happy birthday, dude.
Nice
the only black man who can't go to Atlanta, Georgia. Ain't that
you know, when I listened to your video about that, I was like, oh, that's so true. Like, you look at these Amber Alerts that come out for missing and exploited. Thank you. Exploited children and stuff like that. But they have the inverse of that for Mark that like just shows up everywhere. Like, don't let this black dude in. Yeah,
I was worried about where you were going with that, man.
I was too when I
was like, what did this show turn into?
Yeah.
Hi,
welcome back.
It's been a year, right? Almost.
But no,
happy birthday, Mark.
Yeah,
happy
birthday, sir. And we could call you by your initials that Annie came up with.
I did not come up with that.
All she said was the birthday bourbon cigar guy. You guys figure what that means out if you want to. Anyhow, so real quick, I do want to take a moment to recognize that suicide and mental health is real, and we need to definitely be focused and reaching out to people we've served with, friends with, family, stuff like that. As everyone here knows, I lost my absolute best friend in the world this past week to a suicide incident that I served with, and tremendously heartbroken. But if you have friends out there that, well, I mean, this excludes Jack, but if the rest of you guys have friends out there, check on them and make sure that you, and if you have problems yourself, reach out to somebody, reach out to me. I'll take your phone call. Let's chat. And if I can't help you because I'm not a professional in that field and you need to see somebody else, I hope you get there, but I think that's the biggest thing is going, you know what, I've got some issues. I might need to talk about it. So, but moving on, let's talk about, Chuck came up with some great ideas for this show. And I actually kind of dig it. Like, we're halfway through the year and some of the stuff has come out already. And what have we gotten that we like so far? What have we tried that we like? Big mustache would be one that I would.
Oh, for sure.
That right there's absolutely for sure.
Still my answer. But
yeah. Yours is over there. Mm-hmm. And the other two are en route or will be en route in the morning. Mm-hmm. They know who they are. And then like, which ones have you been disappointed by? I'll ask any of you guys. Anyone's welcome to go first.
That's a fun one to open up with. Who has been, I guess, kind of like maybe had a whiskey hype to them and ended up kind of sorely disappointed. Is anything really underwhelmed anybody in particular?
Okay, so let me jump in here. Okay, I have two bottles. I'm going to go slightly above saying I'm disappointed, slightly above in these two bottles. And I know people are raving about these two. And in my book, they're okay. I don't know if I'm going to go beyond okay. Bardstown Fusion number 3, it's okay. To me, it's okay.
Is that the one with like supposed to have the cherry taste, or is that like because I know like different of the Fusion series have like different
absolutely
flavors.
Going to disagree with you on that because I love this.
I like it. I don't love it.
I think it's interesting as everything to talk about. It has so many different flavor profiles that I find fantastic and fabulous.
That's number 3?
Yes, number 3.
Now I do like number 3 better than I like number 5. Number 5 it's okay. And the Sam Houston, again, I'm not saying that I don't like these. I just didn't, neither one just made me want to go out and buy it again. It's okay.
That's a 15-year?
Yes.
Was that a little bit higher dollar?
Yeah, it's like 129, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I would not.
I think that plays a major factor in whether or not you're disappointed in something.
Yeah. In this case, and typically I'm not a dollars and cents with my taste, but in this case, for what I paid for it, yeah, okay.
Mark, is that okay. A state? Is that a certain state release?
This one, as
I'm trying
far
to
as I
sip of
know of,
this,
it was
if you
not.
don't wanna
This
pull.
was their first rounds of barrel releases. There was a second release that I have not tried. So that again, that's why I don't want to. I'm not want to trash bottles anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe the second is a little bit better. But this one, it's okay. Again, I'm not saying it's bad. Me personally, I wouldn't spend another $130 on this.
I see. Because with the Sam Houston 14 series,
I
they were
like the
released by state.
I like the 14s. I've
Some
had
states had 2 barrels and some had 3, and there were some that were terrible, like Illinois, and
All
the
right, we're not going to
Maryland,
have a
the
whole show
Maryland
of
release
bashing
was
on Illinois.
excellent. Yeah,
I had the Maryland, and I liked the Maryland 14.
it was very good. Yes.
I did like that. That's what made me buy this blind. I
Okay.
typically wouldn't spend 130 blind.
I like this. You probably won't.
Usually my blind
No, I know.
threshold, yeah, my blind threshold is about $70, and I'm saying 70 because that's usually where the Maker's Mark barrel
Yeah.
finishes are.
Right.
In general, I won't go over 70, and like I said, that one I would probably not. I know they have another series coming here to Arizona. I don't know if they're doing them by state. They could be. I don't know.
Okay.
But I know we're due to get a second wave with new barrels, so I will try that and see. But that did not make me want to go and spend another $130 on it.
Okay. For me, I don't know if I had anything that was really what I would consider to be a disappointment.
Yeah.
What had a lot of hype that I don't think I would spend the money on was that Bell Mead honey. It was good,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of hype and a lot of nonsense going on, especially with the price going through the roof.
Well, the secondary is just stupid. On it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're doing the same thing with the sherry cask now. And then, and what's bad is I have a bottle of the sherry cask right over there, and I'm like, I've seen it earlier today on secondary for $400. I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
So I think that if anything, that part of it is a disappointment with that. But the drink itself is nice, but I'm not paying
MSRP 175 over there, yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
right.
that sounds.
John's the one that got it for us, and
Yeah.
it was a,
Yeah.
I thought
he
it was a
got through the
fantastic.
water, yeah.
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 I think,
that
And
to
again-
me,
I think I would pay 170 for it. I honestly would. I thought it was worth it for that. But some of these stupid freaking secondary pricing on it. Nah, no way. It's not a
Yeah.
BTAC, you know. So
Absolutely. And something that the Godfather sent me was that was it for Reserve, that Masters blend.
Mhm.
That was phenomenal. I actually had to slap myself and put it away. And
I had to do the
put
same
it-
thing.
Yes.
And like it's
Yes.
It's got a
like,
perfect high proof to it too.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
it's
123.5,
really
I think it is.
Ooh, nice.
Amen.
good. Like one of them days you don't want to be bothered with nobody. Like I could kill that whole bottle. In 2 days it'll be gone, so I would have to put it down. So for me, that was a pleasant surprise. And yeah, other than that, I don't really know if I had anything that I say was disappointed that I wouldn't buy again. The Fusion is okay, like Mark said. It's easy to get here, so it's not something that I'm like dying to get another bottle of it. And I do have to say thank you to the wife. She brought home a whole gang of cigars, and she brought
was
this
that?
home today.
How
It's
is that?
actually quite good. I've never had it. And the funny thing was, a couple of days ago, I went to Total Wines to get some cigars, and I looked at this. I kind of fucked it for about a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, 17. It's
passed.
$17. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Spirits Direct, $17. I actually have one. I
Oh
just-
wow.
Yeah.
And it's
So
pretty
listen-
good for $17.
I mean, listen, it's $30, $35. I wouldn't be upset about it.
Mhm.
And listen, what's sweeter than your wife bringing home a bottle of bourbon and a whole handful of cigars?
You never say no to that. Yeah.
No, ever.
Hercules.
And mind you, that was unsolicited. That was just home waiting for me.
Yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Got to keep her.
absolutely.
Yep.
can you imagine what you would have brought back if you deserved it, Billy?
Oh, Jesus Christ, right? Yeah.
Well, there
I
you
have
have
a-
it. What about you, Mal? I know that you're a little bit under the weather and don't have all of your taste buds today, but what would you say is something that that you've found that you liked, or maybe was overhyped, or something like that you've gotten?
So yeah, I mean, from the conversations that we've had, it's probably going to be no surprise that I'm going to completely agree with Billy over the Belmead honey. As far as the, like I say, the overhypeness, and I definitely would say disappointment. The reason I brought up the whole MSRP thing, you've openly, stated, Jody, yourself that you would pay 170, 180 MSRP.
Right.
A few of the guys are really happy with it. I think I remember saying at the time, I personally thought it was maybe a $50 bottle. And this is kind of, transferring my brain to your side of the pond kind of thing. I'm not talking about £50 or anything like that. Comparing it to other bottles on the market, that kind of thing. But we'll get past that. We've talked about that to death. Something that really did surprise me this year, not a bourbon, but it's a rye, and I know I've spoken about this before on the show, and it's a Danish Stoning rye.
I want that so bad.
That I
I
got
remember
through.
when you talked about it the first time you had it on, I was like, I'm very
Yeah.
much seeking ryes like that. I'm actually, and this is not a rye, but I found a German single malt
That
that I'm
thing's
drinking
dark
tonight.
too. That looks like
And I'm
German
like,
beer. It
I want
looks dark.
to find more European whiskeys, basically, and especially ryes.
Look how dark
What's the
that
age
is.
on that? What's the age on that?
On his,
No, in this one.
Oh,
I don't know. You guys talk amongst yourself.
Well, and listen, let me say this, and shout out to Lil John, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a chance to taste the Belmead honey. So
Mhm.
why
Oh,
it's
yeah,
good
likewise.
and it's a lot of hype. But John, I definitely appreciate that, brother. It was otherwise
Oh,
I
we
wouldn't
all-
have had a
we all
chance to
did.
taste it.
yeah.
So-
We all did, and thank you very much for that, John. It's John didn't make it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since we're
Okay.
talking about Lil John, what about you?
Well, Belmead honey is actually, one of the things that I was interested in trying. Had the privilege to purchase it. I got on a honey kick there for a while, and so I appreciate the sample that Jack sent me from Colorado, and being able to try that. And I hate that I missed that show, but I was able to try it as when I was traveling. But with that, I purchased the Wheeler's Raid honey. So
Mhm.
Ooh, I'm curious to know how that is.
yeah. What do you think?
This is it's based out of the Nashville area in a little town called Nolensville.
Right.
It's a newer distillery. Apparently they have one heck of a nightlife with live music and dancing and all that. So I'm actually kind of interested in trying that out one night and
Give me a call. I'll
tell
be
those
plus
people
one.
what's up. But this one's pretty interesting. So this Wheeler's Raid is 108 proof. It is 3 years and 10 months old. What I know about this particular bottle is that the distillers really wanted to not have the honey overpower the whiskey that they're putting in the barrel. And I can appreciate that. They are making their own juice. To be honest, it really comes across as, in my opinion, it's almost like has like kind of this Jack Daniel's Black Label taste with a little bite of honey on the back end. I think if this was to be in the barrel for another year, I think this would be phenomenal. And I wish it had a little bit more of the honey taste on the back end. You get a little bit of honey on the nose, but you do get a heavy, ethanol up front. But it is done pretty well. To be honest, I mean, there's that much left in the bottle. taken this much to try to figure out if I enjoy this or not, and I'm still drinking it. So at this point, I do think I enjoy it. But I think it's really good. I'm kind of surprised by it, I guess, because I anticipated a little bit more honey, very similar to what Bell Mead produced, but it's still a pretty good quality whiskey.
I dig
Do
it.
you know, is that one their distillate or is that one that they source? Because I know they were sourcing initially.
So I was told that it is their distillate.
Okay.
You know what I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, I mean, I was just saying that's what I was told on Facebook. So I think it was
it's gotta be
Jay's group
true.
that told me that. I think it was Jay and Thomas that did contribute to those answers. And I think somebody actually tagged in maybe their master distiller or somebody who works on the distilling team to provide an answer. So I'm pretty sure it is theirs.
But now you recently got the new batch of Leaper's Fork, though, right?
Yeah. So actually, to be honest, I didn't see this be released 5 days ago. Apparently,
That's
it
the
hit
bottle and bond?
Instagram and
Okay.
well, it's bottled and bond, very similar to their first release that we all tried. But this is their bourbon, not Tennessee whiskey. So the reason why I sent the mash bill in the Facebook group that it's 70% corn, 15% wheat, and 15% barley. I ended up having to do a little bit of research. I was like, well, is 15% barley high? Because when I tried this, it's very malt forward. To be honest, it's I picked up on what it reminded me of was Stranahan single malt and a little bit of the Bushmills from Stranahan's that Jack sent me because it is very malt forward. And so I was like, am I crazy? Like, is this just something that I'm just pinpointing because I'm not sure if I like it or not, or that it's a newer area for me to try? And that's why I went to kind of social media to ask, like, hey, what is everybody else getting out of it? Like, is it, very malt forward? And so everybody else does confirm that, they do pick up on the malt. But Jay said it, he loves it. He gets more butterscotch and caramel out of it. To be honest, I don't get that. I do get a little bit of sweetness, but I don't get that much sweetness out of it. It is tainted by, having that malt pretty present and, all the way through.
Nice.
You know what's funny? It's like I noticed you guys get more unique bourbons and whiskeys as to where here in Miami, we get more of the hard to find stuff. Like, the Blood Oath, the Eagle Rares. I even saw Blanton's the other day, but like you guys seem to get your hands on a lot of unique stuff that's unique to your region, but there's nothing really much going on like that here in Miami. And I've
You
looked
got the
for
shit
stuff.
that you can't sell over there.
Well,
that's not true. That's not true.
It seems like there's. Go ahead.
It's like Jack sent me the 291, which is next on my list to open up. Rob sent me some stuff. I got the Leaper's Fork. I'm getting ready to get some, big mustache. Like those things, I don't even think you could find in Florida. I don't care what you did. I don't think you
No,
can get
you
your
won't.
hands on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys are in that belt where that kind of stuff goes on and you can get stuff from other states locally. But here, at least down in Miami, I mean, but the hard to find stuff you can get. Eagle Rare is available now. Not that it's super hard, but Buffalo Trace is available now. Like I said, I actually saw like 4 bottles of Blanton's on the shelf the other day. But it's like that unique stuff that you guys get your hands on. We just don't get it down here.
Wow.
Well, I think this is and maybe Annie would probably know this better than, or maybe even Chuck might know this better than I would, but it's more because of the location where you have, Kentucky and Tennessee, the two homes of pretty much the whiskey world. And so you have a bunch of different pop-ups that are starting to get their foot in the ground. And then of course, with the influx of MGP source coming in and they're having that readily available source there. That's made these startups become noticeable, and then where they're starting to win awards and this, that, and whatever. But let's go to Rob, and then we'll go to Annie right afterwards.
So I think for me, at least the first half of this year, and I'd heard some decent things about it, was this Calumet Farms. This is their blend of their 14-year and their 8-year-old. I mean, I probably spent, I think it was $89 in Ohio that I got it for. And I wasn't, I don't hate it. I'm not drain pouring it, but it's not, and I think I said this when I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of held me back from going and getting and passing on the $124 on a Calumet 15. That was, there was a half a case, 2 cases on the shelf, and I just kind of like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to spend 124 on that, because I'm not so thrilled with this blend that they did.
Yeah, White Mark was over here a couple of weeks ago, and he brought the 15-year, and I had pretty much the same sentiment with it. It wasn't something that I was like, this is great or anything else. And of course, I knew what the price point was on it, because we go to the same liquor stores and they try to push it off on me too. And I'm like, yeah, I've already tried that. No, so, but anyway, continue. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, no. I've been really, again, I've talked ad nauseum about, I've been really trying to focus on some local things. I mean, in PA and Ohio, pretty much it's the same things. Like you get all the big players. Ohio, I can get the Weller when I'm in Ohio, and I haven't been back there in a while. Sorry, Mark. But there's nothing interesting. So like I said, I've been trying the local stuff, and I think one of the ones the thing I sent you, Billy, was a Resurgent cask strength. It's a 4-year-old or 5-year-old out of Eastern PA. There's a couple of really surprisingly Big Spring Spirits, which is out of the middle of the state, that's putting out good 5 and 6-year rye and whiskey. That I've been kind of focusing more on that, which has been really surprising to me, because there's one in Pittsburgh called Weigel Whiskey that, to me, they've been around for about 7 or 8 years, and I did not like any of their stuff, so I kind of turned away from local, but it's kind of sticking with state. I found some pretty decent stuff. There's a 4-grain spirit from Bluebird Distilling that's a 5-year-old product that's really good that I've found. And I'm in a local whiskey club here in Pittsburgh, and actually what I'm sipping on tonight, we got our own barrel pick of Ragtime Rye out of New York. I don't know how they did it with the way the state laws work. I think our group in Pittsburgh and another group in Philly got together, and they managed to go and do a barrel pick up in New York. They purchased the barrel, they got it bottled. It then had to get sent to the state of PA for them to tax and do whatever the state of PA did. Then it could get sent to their stores, to the local fine wine stores, so that they could go and pick it up at the stores. It's the whole process, but I think all in all, that ended up being, it's a 6-year or 7-year rye that ended up being like $60, and it's really nice.
Nice. I dig it. Annie, what about you? Welcome back to the show, by the way, again.
Thanks for having me on again. I missed it.
Well, we missed you.
If you follow my Instagram, you may have seen a post that I said was kind of controversial, but Henry McKenna is toilet water, in my opinion. I have tried.
Notice I liked that.
I
That
thought
10-year is disgusting.
all of it. I haven't
all
found one that I like. Bottled and done. Like I can't do it. And I thought maybe it was just like I got a bad barrel, right? Like, okay, I got this bottle. This is like, maybe I just got a bad batch or something. And I kind of like, I'm going to try it other places. I'm going to go to the bar and try this bottle. No, here, do you want this? I can't drink it. No. So everybody's like, and it's not like a bad price point. I think here in Minnesota, you can find it for like $50, $45, whatever. And I'm just like, no, thank you. I'll pass. I keep a bottle here just in case anybody likes it and wants to drink it. But
Somebody always will.
yeah,
On and off when you're friends.
right. Hey, you want to try some of this? What do you think?
Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
The new rave.
Everybody loves it. And the other one too that I think is overhyped are some of the like more allocated Wellers, like the CYPB. I've had a couple different foolproof store picks, and they're okay. But like, I'm not gonna go pay secondary whatever ridiculous price Weller foolproof is going for. Like that's over.
However, I will tell you the foolproof is my favorite of all the Weller products.
Oh, see, I'm an OWA. Like if I'm gonna do Weller, an OWA store pick is kind of right up my alley.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it is.
And then what I did love this year and realized that I am a total MGP girl. Like all the stuff coming out of MGP, Nashville Barrel Company, Smoke Wagon, like they've got this, their ryes are awesome. They have some really good high rye bourbons they're coming out with. And these people like Aaron Chapenick at Smoke Wagon and the guys at NBC, the people that are doing the blends have amazing palates. So they're just putting together some really good offerings. And I haven't had a Smoke Wagon I didn't like. And that uncut, unfiltered, like I've gone through 3 bottles of it. I've got so much whiskey, I usually never kill a bottle because I just skim off the top, but I just kept going for it. Like, it's my jam.
I concur.
That's
and I can't even get it here.
I think Billy coined the phrase with that is the slap yourself and put it away before you destroy it all. Like that's absolutely true. Yeah, and I agree with you on the uncut unfiltered. It's good stuff. I have
so
had
good.
to resist until I get another bottle anyway.
And see, again, that's another thing. I haven't from West Palm Beach all the way down to like, South Miami. I have not seen Smoke Wagon of any sort anywhere. Small stores, big stores. We just can't get it. It's like,
So they're working. They actually just bought a bigger property and they're expanding. So I think they're going to continue to try to get to other states, but I can't get it here. Like they don't distribute to Minnesota at all. I got to find somebody who's in Chicago that can get it for me or whatever. And they're like,
just let me know. I got you.
Oh, awesome. Some of their like the red wax stuff though, like these are going for ridiculous prices on secondary too. Like they're going for $1,000, $800, $1,000 because there's not many of them out there and people just love like the 8-year and 13-year stuff. It's just impossible.
Do you have any of the green wax bottles? Right, Mal?
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Joe, let me jump in really quickly. So I talked about just a couple things really quickly that I didn't like. Here are 2 that I really did like. This first one is out of Virginia. This is Hunter and Scott. I've talked about it. They use the aging is not very long, but they do small barrel. This has just a really interesting taste. This if I had to have a third one up, it would be that Watershed that I got from Rob. I think that was Ohio, correct?
Yes, it is.
That Watershed, and another thing, I'm not really want to compare, but I would say this one and Watershed have a similar profile. I really like them both. Now, on the higher proof side, this Yellowstone, this is a North Carolina ABC pick. It comes in at about 115 proof.
I got the Ohio pick on one, and it is really good.
Dude, this is really good. God damn, it's really good. Sorry.
All right, let's go to Chuck.
All right, so as far as I guess you could say what favorite bottle up to this point would be George Remus Repeal Reserve edition number 3. Although edition number 2 is very good, 4 is excellent. I've been really digging 3 lately because it's an MGP product. It's basically one of their own brands, if you will. And I did a review on it on the Barcast and posted that up, but it's got some great flavor to it. It was really a really big surprise for me, especially at the price point. It was around $74. And I thought, well, let me give this a whirl. I've heard some good things about it. And I wasn't disappointed at all. I mean, it's almost gone already. And I have to get some more. Fortunately, my guy has plenty of it for me. And I'll have to get 1 or 2 more bottles. But as far as disappointments go, I'm going to start with, I've recently heard that since there's a bottle shortage, and as we all know that, who was it? Annie was just talking about Aaron Chapanic and Smoke Wagon. He just went to the clear glass and everybody's flipping out over that, in a secondary going, oh my gosh, it's great. We have to have the clear glass stuff. It's going to be worth fortune. I'm going to be able to, put this into my 401k. So the glass shortage is really a big issue. Budweiser recently shorted a lot of stores distribution wise because they're out of glass. And what I've heard is that Jim Beam is going to basically go with plastic. So if you're a Jim Beam person, you enjoy Jim Beam, you may want to get some of their stuff now before they just decide to jump in on the plastic. Now, I don't know if that's going to go into like the Booker's line or not. I would certainly hope not.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just keep it down to their lower tiered stuff, the white label, maybe their Jim Beam Black, and some of that
all that flavored crap.
All that flavored nonsense that
Yeah.
they have out, the honey, the vanilla, that
peach.
stuff. Yeah.
I read somewhere a couple of years ago, well, a year and a half or so, right before the pandemic, actually, that I don't know which one was, but they were going to switch over to plastic in cardboard boxes as well, like a wine in the box. And it was a couple of years ago. I could have sworn it was.
Yeah, there was one company that was talking about
It was
doing that.
it's Diageo. It was
Yes.
Diageo were talking about doing cardboard bottles.
Yes, that's correct. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, they should do it with Jack Daniels. It already tastes like shit anyhow.
Well, I tell you what, though, I hope these companies really do their research before they make a move like that, because I think part of the luxury of a glass bottle goes a long way. Like George likes to say, if it's a plastic bottle, with
You're
a
drunk.
handle on it, yeah, you're a drunk.
Yes.
I think for the most part, I don't even know how that would look if you walked into a place and there's plastic bottles sitting up on the shelf.
The cool thing would be is with your shelf making skills,
Oh,
you wouldn't
God.
have to worry about.
I was thinking it. I didn't want to say it because I don't want to
No,
be that
but
asshole,
listen,
but
But listen,
Yeah,
there's
no,
a
unfortunately,
but there's an update to that story. Just today, I did get the tiles replaced that I
Nice.
broke. So the wife hounded me and kicked my ass until it got done. I didn't do it because my skills aren't up to par. My skills are in the kitchen. So tiles got replaced today.
Do what you do best, Billy. Do what you do best.
Nice. All right. So Chuck, were you finished? If you are,
I had one more actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Go for it, Chuck.
My other disappointment was, and I know this is going to surprise people, is this Four Roses. This is a recent Maryland pick. It's a OESK 10-year, 3 months. It's a second edition, and they just released it basically about 3 weeks ago. And only, basically anybody that was in the barrel program, any liquor stores that were in the barrel program, were supposed to receive a barrel pick, a last barrel pick in the state of Maryland. Each one of them were supposed to get one. What happened was each store maybe got a case or two of 4 editions of this, and basically it was all the same thing, same barrel number, same lot and everything, same warehouse level. And this one comes in at 56.61 alcohol volume. So, and I'm not going to figure that out as proof right now, but we can all figure that out. But
I'm 13-ish.
yes, and very disappointing. The fact is, I get it's a little sweet on the nose, little candy, like what would you call those? It's like a rock candy type product.
Rocks? Or
No, there's another one that they're like little squares, and they have the little plastic
Oh, Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Ranchers. Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Get that Jolly Rancher smell on it, nose on it, and the taste is much like a Ivan's spiced wafer cookie.
Okay.
Basically, the molasses, German molasses cookies. Usually see them in the black and orange boxes around Halloween, fall, and they also come as a product called Sweetzels. But I get molasses, I get clove, little vanilla. But as far as the taste went, I get that vanilla, molasses, cinnamon. But it just doesn't
Sorry,
wow me.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but do you
No problem.
have of the 10 recipes that Four Roses has for their single barrel program, do you have a favorite recipe that they do?
Yes, OESO.
Okay, so you are a mash bill E person
Yes.
already, just not that particular one.
But I was expecting this one to be just, something, totally overwhelming and, excellent. And it just really underwhelms. It's, it doesn't perform, it doesn't taste, I'm going to go put it up against, say, George Remus Repeal Reserve batch 2, and it's nothing like it. I mean, they're in two different ballparks for the price point anyway.
All right. Well, Jack, you want to go with yours?
Sure, why not? So I think the most underwhelming for the hype that it was getting for me was basically just the Weller Special Reserve, just a regular Weller. I mean, it is good if you can find it for its $20-ish price point. Yeah, but I mean, going out and hunting it and, getting on Tap Hunter, and then once the notification hits and stopping what you're doing and running and getting it or paying secondary for it, don't. It's not all that. It's not. It's just not all that. I mean, I'll try to keep it G-rated still. But
I can see you struggling.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want to say that she's giving you a intro, but I can't.
But you did. Anyhow, moving on.
No, I mean, read between the lines, all right? I mean, but as far as some of the good stuff that's out there that kind of surprised me, the Leaper's Fork really out of Tennessee really was a surprise for me on how good that was. And he was talking about the MGP stuff. I think we have Colorado has a pretty good handle on blending and aging MGP out here, believe it or not, with Oak and the Axe, or Axe and the Oak, sorry, and Copper Sky being my more recent find. This is a 13, so he's only been really open selling stuff, Mike Root, for what, like 2 years now, I think. But he has barrels that are 13 and 15-year-old barrels that he's finished here in Colorado and blended. This one here is a 13-year light, and it is 135.6 proof. And this one will knock the COVID out of you. I'm sure of it. I know.
I love it.
Yeah, it's got some heat to it. Yeah, zinc, vitamin D, all that good stuff. Emergency. So I did put this one. I got a little frosty in my glass because I do have a clear ice cube in there, so she's nice and cold. I tried her last week, just neat, and it was strong. She definitely kicked my ass. Just after one drink, I could definitely still feel on the back of your tongue. You can still feel a little bit of that tingle of the heats from the higher proof. So I was hoping that the ice cube would kind of cut that down just a little bit, and yeah, a little bit, but not too much. You can still feel it back there. But it's a good, pleasant kind of a feel to it. It's not too much. It doesn't permeate through the upper palate into your nose too bad. I do still smell it, and I can taste it, so I know that I'm negative on the COVID. Can't say if the rest of the house is that way, but at least I am for right now. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. Always
Good
fun.
stuff.
So David,
Yeah.
you're right beside me. So what has been the biggest, well, we'll say the biggest disappointment or
Disappoint. Well, I don't know if it's like necessarily a standout. Like I had the super high hopes of this and it was really bad. But I guess one of the bigger disappointments for me was I picked up an Old Scout store pick out of Cheers in Mount Pleasant. And the flavor profile of it, I just found like way too discordant to be able to enjoy. Like it starts with like sort of like traditional bourbon notes of like, you know, the oak and spice and things like that. And then it fades into like a weird like apricot citrus thing. And like I found it jarring. And I don't know if it was because it was a store pick or, you know, if that's necessarily true of other Old Scout. It was honestly the only Old Scout expression I've ever had, but like I didn't really care for it. So to me, you know, I went out there, you know, with the express purpose, you know, to the store of like, oh, I heard, you know, they had this here. I'm going to go check it out. And I picked it up and it was just like, you know, not quite hunting, but being particular and seeking out a particular bottle of bourbon and just not being happy with it. That would probably be the big one for me. And in terms of like, you know, big surprises, you know, I'm going to steal your answer by talking about this big mustache. Like this is such a nice thing to drink that
Can you give me a little info on what it is? I'm not familiar.
Oh, it's.
I wish Jay was here. He could be a little bit more
wish he was.
conversant.
So it was a French company that's wanting to get into the game. So, and they wanted to specifically get into the Tennessee whiskey. So it's actually made here in Columbia, Tennessee. We don't know where. We don't even know who's sourcing it.
There's like a secret like distillery. And it's something.
Once these bottles are gone, it'll never happen again.
Yeah, it's a limited run.
It's a limited run.
They're blended in garbage pails, I heard. Oh no, wait, that's somebody else. That's somebody else.
Jay Manningly. But no.
Good one.
I was gonna say that's Gobbler's Creek.
Allegedly, it's
you don't know where it's sourced from? It's not their own distillate.
It's not their own distillate because they're not here. They're in.
So they bought barrels from somebody.
Distilled, aged, bottled in Tennessee.
And if you read on the back,
it may be some puffery in
puffery on it. I think it tastes a lot like, in my opinion, not Big Mustache, but Daddy Rack.
Well, it's because it's the same. So Daddy Rack is another Tennessee whiskey that comes out of Columbia, Tennessee.
But it's a younger,
and it's a little bit younger. The flavor profile is honestly, it's not as that's what Mal's holding up right there. This is the same mash bill, exactly the same mash bill as Daddy Rack. But maybe the way it's aged, the different charring and filtering maybe involved, with the barreling process with that is different. So you get something that's like, if Daddy Rack, like grew up and got a job, like you would have Big Mustache basically out of Daddy Rack. And not that Daddy Rack's bad, it's just you can pick up all of these notes in Daddy Rack, but like it's just much more pronounced in every way. So
there's a very strong cherry up front.
You do get a very strong. I get like a cherry Coke / vanilla thing,
but
it's
almost like a flat.
It's completely lovely.
I want one of those now.
Yeah,
I know that sounds delightful.
He's like, hey, I got you that bottle. We're gonna open it. I was like, well, I bought the rest of the bottle that you drank almost all of. So let's do that.
Not true.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so
you know what? If anything, I'm glad I brought a bottle to this house that you actually enjoyed, because I brought this German single malt. He smelled it. He's like, I'm not even gonna try this. Like, I'm happy to bring something people enjoy. So if you drink this whole damn bottle, I'm happy about it.
There's maybe a pour left.
You're right.
So if I drink
this is maybe my third drink out of this bottle. I'm just saying, I'm not bullshitting you. Like, seriously.
That's puffery. But anyway, so moving on. So for me, last year we had at the beginning of the year, we talked about who won 2020. And I thought Maker's Mark, without a doubt, with the SCPR or whatever, that was fantastic. That was one of the, and all of their private selects were, definitely store picks, and the ones from like Mark sent me from the California store. And the other ones I've gotten from all over the place are freaking fantastic. I have a hard time with the FE. I don't find it to be nearly as good. Like, don't get me wrong, I find it to be palatable and I enjoy it, but I'm like incredibly disappointed in it because the SCPR, I think that's right. That is just like, that is I went through probably 4 or 5 bottles of those last year, easily. And that was
last year would have been the FAE.
Okay, yeah, FAE. Or I'm talking about this year. Last year was
was SE5.
Yep.
yeah, that was the SC4
SE4
PR5.
PR5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PR5. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that was awesome.
Yeah.
This year's the FE whatever and
FAE 01.
okay, sure.
And in the
Whatever
fall, there's going to be a
nomenclature is.
02.
I
The
totally
one for-
missed what we're talking about. What are all these acronyms for?
It's for
That
the
doesn't
Maker's
matter.
Mark.
Maker's
Oh, I don't
Mark
like.
would-
I
we're
That's the
don't.
good
finishing
one.
series from
I don't
Maker's
drink
Mark.
any Maker's Mark. So
That's the
we-
super good one.
No wonder I don't know.
Yeah, the SE4 PR5 is fan freaking tastic.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead. And
Yeah,
take
I
it.
agree with that.
Concur.
So, but I wouldn't say that I'm like just like it's junk water. It's not Jack Daniels. It's not anything bad like that. It just it's kind of disappointing that it wasn't what it had been hyped up or I had hyped it up to be. So I would put it that way. Now the other one would be Belle Meade. Now I thought Belle Meade honey was good, but man, when you see all those secondary pricing and stuff for it, you think this right here is going to it's going to unzip my own pants for me,
And give you a reach around.
Yeah, and so that's that's kind of what you're hoping for. And I was like, and don't get me wrong, I thought it was good. It had I love the profile of it. I like the honey on the side. But to be honest with you, I did think the Copper Sky honey was better. And I honestly think this King's bourbon, what's the MGP source? And this is 116 proof, no, 118.7 proof from barrel one is better.
It's very, very,
they're all
unique
different.
in their own right. So it's very hard to compare it. I think I said
But
that.
I think I like the Copper Sky because it was a weeder.
Yeah, you get
And
the
so
more of the
you get
wheat
that
flavor.
You get that bread, like that sweet bread taste, like you would expect in the mornings, like a nice buttered up, piece of bread, country bread.
But you
sweet
get
bread.
that with more of like the saccharine sweet,
Yep.
like kind of honey, and you did not necessarily get that. It's not cloying. It wasn't overbearing.
I'm not a weeder person, anyways, in general. So.
Okay, well, neither here nor there.
Well, I didn't
Like,
think I was.
With
either,
regards to the
be
honey
honest with you.
flavor, like it is more of a sweet honey, whereas I took the Belle Meade to be more of like a floral, like herbal kind of a like natural raw kind of a honey vibe that I got from it. And this is it's kind of a happy medium, to be honest.
Yeah.
Between the two of them. And
It's
again, it's its own
a
thing.
strong bourbon, taste profile, which you would anticipate from an MGP source.
And it definitely doesn't blow you, even though it looks like all the the honey's floating around in the bottle. It doesn't blow you out with like sweetness or anything.
Right.
It's very well balanced.
And then probably the top ones are the top one for sure is Big Mustache. I couldn't believe how fantastic that was. I thought it was a bunch of hype. I tried it. Oh, I tell you another one I didn't find.
Jack
pretty-
Frost turned us on to that in the first place. He's the one who told me about it to start looking.
Right.
And I
And
started bugging my local stores and I'm like, Big Mustache, I don't know what that is. And then it dropped, and I grabbed what I could. But
So is it available? Can people find it? Or is it at this point starting to?
at this point, you would probably be hard pressed to find it. There may be a couple of stores that are hanging on to it, but most places that I've been to, they're like, yeah, we put it on our shelves this morning and it's gone. Or we put it on the shelves this morning and you're literally holding the last two bottles. Like that
I've
kind of
got 2 bottles. There's 4 bottles in this house, but one is David's and 2 is 2 of the guys on the show that I got to send out to them. And then one of them is mine.
thing.
Caskers has it in stock.
Are you looking it up
Just go
right
ahead
now?
and get it.
How much though?
$60.99.
That's
How much is shipping?
I would do it honestly if you've
75.
never
Yeah.
right.
Not worth $60.
I paid 50.
Well, we both
and
paid
that's-
52.
That's
I think
probably I think it's 50, 51, 50, whatever. Like around that price point is pretty reasonable. Knowing that you'll
And
probably
you found it for like 30, didn't
it's a
you?
limit.
But wait, Cask
They found
Cartel
it-
is selling
they
it
got it
for
for
120.
Who is?
Cask Cartel, those robbers.
Yeah, so it's Flair or whatever the
Flavor.
I'm sure.
code.
Oh yeah, I'm
Cask
sure- I'm
Cartel
sure they
is
will.
ridiculous. They were selling JW Dant for
And I would probably do it at 60,
saw
and I would probably sample it and then hold on to it, and not burn through the bottle.
I
'Cause
honestly
you'll
think-
you'll legitimately probably never see it again. Is the thing.
yeah.
But
I
you
do
know,
Well, if you
think-
guys are hyping it up as your favorite of the year, I want one. I'll
Right.
pay.
Yeah,
I'll pay
I would
$60
definitely-
for it.
I
if
would
you
give
think it's
60
that
for
good.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going
I
to say the
would.
same thing. Actually,
Just to have it on my
$100
shelf,
for it.
you
I'd pay
know. And
$100
if you
for it.
love it that much, I would
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Honestly, I
looking for
would
a
say
second
I've
bottle if anybody's listening.
Isn't
You know,
isn't the
a
French
lot of-
company that owns it called BBC to bring that back?
It is.
Yeah,
The label's really
It's
cool,
serious,
too.
No lie.
British
Yeah.
Broadcasting Corporation. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Well,
no,
listen-
this is a
Hey.
French company.
Yeah, and it look. I mean, if you look at the logo and stuff on the
The
bottle, like,
print,
with the little like the
The print?
tentacles head, like the Medusa head.
and it's
Like an old
glossy too.
Ooh,
And you can't tell how
yeah.
much you're drinking either.
And the
Yeah.
and it's a matte black bottle. I
Yeah.
love
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lovely bottle. It's an absolute.
I
have
love
one
this
of these
conversation.
starter.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Billy,
But
I
you-
love this conversation right now.
Don't you? You gotta love it. But you know what's funny though, because
Mark, you know black is beautiful.
I agree.
but
I
you know
concur.
a lot of stuff is like that. Like I got my hands on the Blood Oath Pack 7, and you know I got a good deal on it because of the relationship I established. But you know, in most places here in Miami, if you paid retail for it, it was higher than anyone else who bought it. You know, so you know, 52 to 60, you're not really that bad off. I mean, but it was kind of a big difference between. I mean, some guys was telling me they were paying like 109, 119. Here, if you paid retail for the Blood Oath Pack 7, and it was only 2 of them, it was 160 before taxes.
So what are your thoughts on the Blood Oath? I have a bottle that I haven't opened. I think it's
I haven't
pack
opened mine
6.
yet either.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet, and
Act 6 is very good.
Good?
I'm actually
Pack 6.
I'm
Oh.
actually at the point to where I'm gonna start opening a bunch of other stuff because I had like 20 something bottles open, and now I'm finally at that point to where I can start opening other stuff. And goddamn, Chuck sending me stuff, and I had to put in the back of the cabinet. Like Jesus.
So I got a
Christ.
question for Chuck
I
too
can't-
when you're done. Sorry.
Go for it.
You reminded me. So you were talking about Remus, right?
Yes.
Did you get any of this?
No, I wish I had though.
So I won this for donating to charity, and this was my pick. And I like because it's in a box. I guess I kind of forget it's there, and I haven't
Yeah.
opened it yet.
That's the Volstead, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
14-year-old,
Yeah.
and signed by the guy at MGP on
Nice.
the back. But I'm gonna crack it open. I'll send you a sample since you seem to be the Remus guy.
Oh, thank you.
My birthday. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I was clearing my
Hey
throat.
now,
I'm
hey
sorry.
now.
Did you already forget about the birthday bourbon cigar guy,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
also
figured
known
I'd
as the
send.
BBC?
And
I
see,
love you,
and,
BBC.
oh,
There you go.
hey, and Rob, and hey, listen, Mark, this is it. Coming from Annie, listen, that would make Pornhub, you know?
Lord, we're just gonna skip HBO and go straight to Pornhub.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Or X-Hamster.
But listen,
Have y'all seen
What
that?
about JodyFans.com?
Well, listen,
On that one.
I thought,
since
I
we
thought that
since
was OnlyFans.
But not if you're doing it.
Oh.
here's
Then
what's
it's
crazy.
Jody
Since
fans.
we're talking about OnlyFans, you know
Oh,
how
nobody's talking about it.
I am.
No.
Well, now we are.
Yeah, it seems mighty defensive. Don't you think?
Yeah.
He's very
You know-
defensive all of a sudden.
You know how Facebook will give you like memories from a couple of years back and just random stuff. So usually I put mine up and it's like, okay, 30 people viewed
Can't
it.
make it more possessive. It's mine.
Yeah, 50 people viewed it. So I did one from 2 years ago, and it's up to like 125 people liked it.
Oh yeah, I liked it. I actually commented on it.
What?
What am I looking at?
Yeah, seriously, what am I looking at?
What?
Little John could explain this one to y'all.
I saw it earlier. I saw it.
Ass
I
and
I
titties.
skipped it.
I was like, okay.
He asked Billy for the originals.
Hey, look, I didn't want to get in trouble for
He's
liking
holding
it,
the
so I
camera.
just saw it and skipped it.
Right over it.
Was
I
that
was
you holding the
scared to
camera?
like that.
What?
I think we need to be transitioned to the after show.
Try the best.
Okay, let's do that. Whoop-a.
Cheers, guys.
Welcome back.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony!